Hi, I'm back, and this is Cam Marie, 38 Cam 55. I just shared with you Life 2, and I explained to you how that painting came about. And I'd like to relate it to life and the struggles that we encounter in our lifetime. And the key is that we we should never give up. We should just keep trying. And in my dream, I kept trying to walk up this hill. And, eventually the fever broke. And, I was relieved of all of this weirdness. But it is very significant. It's very significant to life itself. Life has these struggles where you feel like you just can't make it up that hill. But, as it was proven when I was 5 or 6, if you just keep trying, then, you can break through. I finally broke through my fever, but that was not like, the only struggle. You go through struggles, many struggles throughout your life. Um, as I said, I'm 71. I just celebrated my birthday with some friends. And this is the month of March. So I'll be sharing 3 paintings and podcast each month. The last ones I shared with you were we did Blue Wave again. And then we did Earth is Not a Plaything, and I talked about Turned Away. That was a very emotional thing for me. I didn't know it was going to come out to be that emotional, but I think I've kept that in for so long about how people can be so mean to other people. And that's the whole point about life itself. We have enough struggles without other people trying to make those struggles worse. And there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that can kind of try to make life miserable because for some reason it could be jealousies, it could be competition, but I think we're missing the whole point about life. We're given this wonderful opportunity to we're born into a life. Some of us are more fortunate than others. I mean, I consider myself very fortunate. My parents were very hard workers. We didn't have a whole lot, but we had a home, beds to sleep in. Some people don't have that. These are things that it seems to be very unfair. So some people have more struggles than others, but we all should be able to have a place to live, a bed to sleep in, food to eat. But we all need to work, and some of us have a difficult time even finding work. Some of us aren't capable of holding a job. Those are all different kinds of struggles. Most of my struggles were that, I tried to make ends meet. I was always trying to get ahead. A lot of people, were fortunate enough that I knew in my age group that they got really good jobs with the government, and now they have pensions. And, I'm fortunate I can collect part of my Social Security. I retired at 62 because I had another injury. It seemed to be accident prone, I guess. But I just decided at 62, I never really pursued a total art career. I've done a little bit here and there, but I've had to have what is considered a regular job just to kind of pay bills. And I'm still doing that. So it would be nice if I could retire and live off of a life savings and go to an island somewhere. But, you know, that really doesn't matter as long as I can get up and take a shower and, get dressed and have something to eat. I have to work for it, but, I don't mind doing that. And, I enjoy where I am right now, the job that I have. I'd like to maybe pursue something else. Maybe this is a little late in the game, but um, it's okay. But, that's what life is about. We have to accept where we are, but also we shouldn't have to accept the evilness in the world. Right now in 2026, there's too much evil going on. And I think the key that if we want to live in paradise, that we need to learn how to be kind to each other, to accept the necessities, and that we don't have to have multiple necessities. We don't have to have everything. We don't have to have a great big giant home and, several cars. And there are people that have no cars. So those that have like 5 or 6 cars, is it really necessary? If we kind of like ease up on what we make, our income, the competition of trying to make more than your neighbor. Think about if you took away some of those lavish, lifestyles, that how many other people could benefit from that you take. So I'm very comfortable. I'm very fortunate. I'm comfortable where I am. I would love to be able to take off and go to an island and stay for, several months. But financially, no, I can't do that. But I can do it occasionally. I went to Curacao last year for my 70th birthday, and that's something I always wanted to do, and I did it. So, I saved up and I was able to go and do that. But I gave up a lot of things. But it was worth it. I gave up a lot of stuff for many years to be able to do something that I dreamed about. Unfortunately, a lot of people never get to that point because of the selfishness that's happening in our world. I still can't fathom why people have to make multiple billion dollars and hoard it all to themselves and have several homes and many cars and yachts, and it just seems a little extreme. So this is like the whole thing, that I'm sure that they have some struggles, that even though they're wealthy and they have all these things, but being a human being, if they're not really human, they're not bothered by it. But I think if we're all practicing humanity, we'll feel guilty about having so much more than other people. When there are people that are homeless, living on the streets, living in tents, caught up with substance abuse issues. This is sad. We as human beings, we should be looking out for one another. We should find solutions, and I'm sure that there are some billionaires that probably donate money to things like that, but maybe it's not enough. Maybe that give back is not enough to provide just simple aspects of life, a roof over your head. Doesn't have to be a huge home. Just something with a bathroom, and a kitchen and a bed. Everyone should be entitled to a place to lay their body to rest. That, they shouldn't have to be climbing this mountain with elephant legs and elephant arms throughout their whole entire life. So this painting became more significant than I ever really thought. This was a dream that I had, well, over 65 years ago. And, I knew it would be significant for some reason, but today it seems more significant than anything else. So, anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope it gives you something to think about. I think there's this taboo thing about showing empathy or having compassion for others, that it's silly, but it's not. We're on this planet together. We should all learn to live together and help those that are unable, and that we should all be able to live comfortably. We're always going to have to work to be able to maintain society, and that's fine. We have to keep manufacturing appliances or automobiles and things that help us commute. We have to have farmers that can sow the fields and reap us sustainability. So these are things that we take for granted, just like we take the earth for granted. But we have so much on this wonderful planet, and we have so much that we can offer as human beings to help one another. So I'm hoping that my paintings, as simple as some may be, some are a little bit more in depth. I've given away a lot of the paintings that I've done, but anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this so far, and I hope it sparked some sort of emotion, or created a spark of some sort of thought that will broaden our outlook on life. And thank you. 38 Cam 55. I'm Cam Marie. Take care and see you next time.